Mars is in Scorpio right now, and Mars likes to be in Scorpio, but there are still some things that we have to be careful and that we can take advantage of in a specific way. Let's get into it. Mars in Scorpio 2025. Mars represents passion, aggression, motivation, frustration, and deep desires, and it also associated with personality, personal interests, and personal insecurities. Scorpio in itself, it's fixed water, so it means that it's all about being fixed, consistent, or stubborn with feelings, emotions, dreams, illusions, imaginations, nightmares, attachment, purpose, and connection in general. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, being its internal side. Scorpio is co-ruled by Pluto and Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. That means that Scorpios focus more on their own internal passions, frustrations, and deep desires. They also can absorb in a consistent or stubborn way the surroundings and others' deep desires, deep emotions, and deep feelings, and sometimes while not even being aware of it, they absorbing it. That's why sometimes Scorpios are seen as weird, or they are seen as too much, or they are seen as like having an heavy aura, because everybody can in a way see a bit of the reflection of their own personal internal creepy or intense areas. So they're always seeing a little bit, or literally the Scorpio absorbs it a little bit so they can see themselves in the Scorpio, because the Scorpio is absorbing the little bit of themselves. With Pluto co-ruling Scorpio, it means that Scorpio is also a little, but still exists, extra focus in transformation, power struggle, and deep healing. And Uranus being exalted in Scorpio means that Scorpios can go further than other signs, and they can also go too far with change, rebelliousness, opposition, and innovation. Mars likes to be a Scorpio, like I said in the start of the video, and Mars is now in the internal side. So Mars is at home, both in Aries and in Scorpio. But in Aries, it's like Mars is doing some work outside, cutting the lawn, or is in the living room waiting for some guests, or with the guests already, or they are outside in the barbecue. But with Scorpio, it's like Mars is in the bathroom, taking a shower, in the basement, in the bedroom, taking a nap or something, or they doing some body fluid exchange, if you know what I'm saying. So it's a bit different. It's more personal, more internal, more protective, and more manipulative, and can be a misunderstanding between yours and others' expressions, actions, and visions about deep desires, deep passions, and frustrations, because Mars rules Aries, Aries being in its external side, but Aries misunderstands Scorpio and vice versa, because Scorpio likes to be more internal and protective, and Aries likes to be more outgoing, seen, and sometimes even naive. Sometimes Aries know they're being naive, but they just want to express it and leave a mark and be seen in a specific way that they want to be seen. The sun is exalted in Aries. Sometimes they go a bit too crazy with the ego stuff. So, Scorpio is the internal side of Mars. So it means that you might be feeling more focused, stubborn, intense, personal, or insecure about feelings, emotions, dreams, connections, attachments, and desires in general. Also, because Scorpio comes from the 8th house, there is another little focus on deep transformative circumstances, deep relationships, and deep exchanges of testimonies, feelings, and emotions about or related to transformative circumstances or really deep or very unique and personal desires. If you have alignments in Taurus, you might feel opposed by this more internal, obscure, manipulative, emotional, and spiritual passion, desires, and frustrations, or you might feel balanced because you have a stronger focus on what really is important, valuable, and the necessary transformation on an emotional and spiritual level so you can take the most profit, the most benefit of your passion, frustration, anger, frustration, deep desires, personal interests, and personal insecurities. If you have alignments in Leo, you are learning how to be more internal, private, calculative, insecure, and grudgeful about passion, frustration, and desires, and revenge type stuff in general. And you can teach the world right now how to be lighter, more expressive, pride, and creative in those same areas without losing the consistency, the stubbornness, and the personality. If you have alignment in Aquarius, you are learning how to be more personal, more spiritual, more connected, and more private and intelligent with desires, passion, frustration, and attachment in general. And you can teach the world right now with Mars in Scorpio how to be more communicative, more unique, and more structural and progressive with that structure, with the desire, the passion, and the frustration without losing the structure or privacy. And about Mars in Scorpio in general, you and others might be too insecure or private about motivation, aggression, and personal life aspects. Also, you might feel more safe or more stubborn within your internal realm and about perspectives of passion, connection, and spirituality. You might feel so cozy in your personal space that you don't want to explore out of it, or you don't want others to go in and explore it. You might feel more scared or scary in general. You might feel more affected by intense emotions and scenarios and by creepy people, places, circumstances, things, and energies. You might jump too quickly into aggressiveness, frustration, and desires. You might accumulate too much internal tension, emotion, and pressure. You might be more aware of your deep natures, and you might feel more consistent and emotionally stubborn. And for Mars in Scorpio 2025, the tarot card is the Ace of Wands. So you can access, create, or be a very unique vision, a very unique action, a very unique expression, a very unique spiritual belief system, a very unique faith, a very unique belief, or a very unique example, a very unique, powerful example that you can change your world, you can change your reality by being yourself, being aware of spirituality, being aware of the fact that you are the creator and not the creation, and being connected to your personal interests, personal insecurities, personal core set of values, and following your own path. The best way to go about this Ace of Cups, this unique vision, this unique spiritual belief system, or just you being unique in general, inspiring yourself and others, is to use the Fire Dragon. So be expressive, be purposeful, be loyal to your visions, be more aware and more connected to your first thought, to your instincts, to your maybe not so realistic but connected with a realistic and practical purpose visions. Be more expressive, be more yourself, be more prideful, but be careful to not burn any bridges, to not burn yourself, to not burn others, and to not take shade away from others as well. But here, just be prideful about yourself, about your visions, imaginations, expressions, belief systems, and the way that you can see the spirituality in reality, the way you can be practical about your spirituality as well. And now, let's take a look at how Mars in Scorpio 2025 is aligning the rest of the natal chart. So Mars in Scorpio is now 5 degrees in, so came out of the cusp recently, because the cusp is from 0 to 3 degrees of a specific sign, and from 27 degrees of the previous sign into 0 degrees of the new sign. So Mars is now fully in Scorpio, it went through the cusp energy, still carrying a little bit of the Libra energy, but not as much. And Mercury is in Libra though, so it's fatal attracting Mars in Scorpio, so you can create new ways to think, communicate, and analyze and socialize in more logical, sophisticated, gullible, or balanced ways about your deep desires, deep frustrations, and deep passions that you are being fixed or stubborn, and more calculative, more internal, and more grudgeful and accumulative. Then we have Sun in Libra, so you can create new visions, actions, expressions, or connections in general in a more external way about your deep desires, deep passions, deep frustrations, and the internal side of your personality, personal interests, and personal insecurities. Also, others can create new ways to see and think in a logical, social, balanced, or gullible way about themselves and your deep passions and deep frustrations that you are going about in a more private and calculative way. Then we have Venus in Virgo, sextiling Mars in Scorpio, so it's an opportunity to relate, commit, and have pleasure in a more mutable, flexible, scattered, practical, organized, efficient, stressful, or worried way about yours and others, ways to be practical and efficient yet relatable about deep desires, deep emotions, and deep frustrations that everybody else is being a bit more protective, calculative, and accumulative about. Then we have Jupiter in Cancer trining Mars in Scorpio, so a gift to expand, travel, and obtain wisdom and knowledge in new, creative, innovative, or nervous ways about your deep desires and deep frustrations that you are being a bit more calculative, personal, and accumulative. This means there is a gift to go too far, there is a gift to go and have too many dreams and illusions about those deep desires and deep emotions, but also there is a gift to be more personal, to be more unique, more serious, and spiritually realistic about the new expansions and the new wisdom and knowledge that you and others are deriving and creating about their personal spaces of comfort, spiritual purpose, and spiritual places of generation, aka Genesis. Then we have Saturn in Pisces, also trining Mars in Scorpio, so a gift to bring more structure, networking, association, limits, and boundaries in a mutable, flexible, and scattered way to yours and others' deep passions, deep motivations, deep frustrations, and deep aggressiveness, or more private and calculated spaces of your personal life, personal interests, and personal insecurities. There's also a gift on the other way around to bring more integrity, to bring more seriousness, and to bring more energy in a private way, though, into structure, network, and associations that deal with faith, belief, extreme pleasure, extreme attachment, and extreme illusions. Then you have Uranus in Gemini in conjuncting Mars in Scorpio, so you might be misunderstanding your deep passions and your deep frustrations with the mutable or scattered and logical and surface level way that it's being thought, communicated, and analyzed about change, rebelliousness, and opposition. And Uranus is exalted in Scorpio. So now you might be misunderstanding how you and others are going so far, yet so surface level about change, about how they're communicating. Maybe they're communicating so lightly about some important changes. Maybe they communicating in such a surface level, almost disinformed way or misinformed way about revolution, opposition, freshness, and innovation. And you might be misunderstanding why you or others are mad, or really insecure and scared about the way that the world is communicating and analyzing change, rebelliousness, and opposition. Then we have Neptune in Pisces as well, trining Mars in Scorpio, a gift, be more connective or scattered about grand dreams and illusions or grand archetypal aspects of yourself and society in general, and then bring that into deep passions and deep motivations, deep frustrations, and deep desires that are way more personal and way more connected and attached to you. And there is a vice versa gift where there is a gift to bring more pressure, more intensity, more structure, or stubbornness, mutability, association, mixing and mingling of emotions, dreams, illusions, spirituality, faith, and belief systems that are being derived or connect into grandiose, archetypal, generational curses, gifts, or patterns. And lastly but not least, we have Pluto in Aquarius squaring Mars in Scorpio. So, learning how to feel more intense, how to feel more internally frustrated, how to feel more privately passionate, and learning how to feel more spiritual and more purposeful about your personality, about your creative and spiritual energy when it's time, or when we actually doing that, which is transforming or going along the transformative path to create and become a world where you have or are associated with unique minds, unique organizations, structures, and circumstances that support, tolerate, and help grow unique expressions and unique progressive ideas. On the other side, we are learning how to transform in a more logical, social, and structural yet flexible way how we condense are private, insecure, and manipulative with our deep desires, deep emotions, deep transformations, and just the more hidden and personal aspects of our personal life, personal insecurities, and personal interests. So maybe we are learning how to take our personal interests and their spiritual value and then bring them into the new world of Pluto in Aquarius, for an example. And that's going to be everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a like and subscribe and book readings with me using the email or the link tree down below. I hope you are being intensely passionate about yourself and your personal interests. Don't be too manipulative, don't be too insecure, don't be too grudgeful, but make sure to be serious and on point with your core set of emotions and deep desires. Till the next one, be your goddamn self. See you soon.